What's going on, everybody? We're going to talk about the real reasons, or also you could say demystifying why no drugs, alcohol, and sex on the so-called spiritual path. And so make sure you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it, because that's why I'm making these videos. And I appreciate you just watching it. So anyways, it's very simple. Why? It's not because none of this stuff's bad. Because all this stuff is going to vary in degrees of excitement. And it's going to be ups and downs basically with all of this. So the thing is, you have a baseline energy. We can call this stillness. We can call this focus. Your whole life is a focus. Unconscious is another very close to being unfocused. A good word is having awareness, because then you are focused. So your baseline energy is a focus, it's an energy, and more importantly, it's a stillness. And as you can see, when we do these things, and I'm going to hit every one of them individually, this isn't even going to take long. Because a lot of people don't tell you directly, and I find out why. Not why they don't tell you directly. I'm going to tell you directly from my own experience. And just hearing, I've heard other people say stuff, but I know the truth about stillness. So stillness is God, and it is Jesus Christ, and all those other words you want to put up in there. In fact, everyone is God and Jesus Christ, or at least has a paw of Jesus Christ and God inside of him. Because it has to be that way. It couldn't be any other way, because what made us, we are just like an infiltration of what made us. We're not separated. It's the illusion we're separated, and hence this is why the world and people go against each other. Animals don't go against each other. They just have conflicts, and it's different. Whereas people have ideologies about, oh, this person's ideologies about stuff. So when you have this baseline energy, and let's just say, for example, you do some drug, psychedelic drug, such as, like licking the frog, mushrooms, but even more on deeper experiences, such as, like whatever, peyote, and whatever, all ashkawashka, whatever, I don't know them things. The names, all the things, especially because some of them are real funky. DMT, these things. So what happens is, it takes life away from you. So that's why people, when do drugs, they might be enlightened and feel, you might get visual stimulation from these things. And of course, like other stimulations such as sound and whatever the other senses, but they're just messing with the senses basically. And yes, they might give you enlightenment. See, enlightenment's not like a thing you get there and you stay there. If you have a lot of energy, a baseline of energy, and you're healthy, you can tap into that. Like most people can. They can audit. Yes, you can go into nirvana, meditativeness, enlightenment, without drugs, without alcohol, or without sex. And the reason being is because it's your natural state. But obviously some people may have damaged their natural state or tarnished it. So that's why you have to bring your energies back up. And so let's just say you do one of these crazy drugs and you do get this experience of it's a feeling. Doesn't matter what plays out in the vision. You get this feeling of like you're a part of everything, almost like you're morphing into things, basically. And along with other stimulations. So the thing is, okay, what happens though? Eventually, you leave that, you're shifting consciousness, you're changing consciousness, you come back to reality, and most people are like, oh, I want the experience again, like, oh, I'm chasing that. They're thinking. You're never going to get their thinking, and the drug, alcohol or sex, just the drug for now, made you stop thinking. So what it does is it stills your energy, and after, it drains you of your energy. It can be minimal. I don't know. I don't know how it completely reacts. I'm just giving it to you straight up. But what it does, you could say, it raises your energy to the baseline energy. You can't get more than God energy, first of all, anyway. But you can get there. Let's just say the drug got you there. Well, after, you're going to go back down, basically, and energy-wise. And let's just say the whole reason of not the other ones, alcohol and sex, or for the same matter, because they raise your energy and then they bring it down. Orgasms shake the body, gives them a high, a oneness, a connectedness, and then brings them down. Because it's so the body is such a physical thing that these things rock the energy system so hard. There's going to be a turmoil in the physical body, and your spirit, which is everything, is stuck in a physical body, so you have to go through physical realms and limitations. That's why like alcohol, like someone might feel good on alcohol while they're drinking it. Might feel better, so to speak. But the next day, there's always that crash. And so the whole point of somebody saying, whether it's someone in religion, Christian, the preacher, the pastor, the guru, the spiritually enlightened teacher, whoever, the reason why they say no drinking, no sex, and no alcohol, those main ones, is because ultimately they can be a hindrance. I want to say a hindrance. They can be a hindrance to somebody who's not enlightened or not conscious, basically. So that's what's to take into consideration. That really is all it is, basically. Because if you don't do these things, these particular things that take energy away, that might give you quick highs, but you're always coming back down. That's why it's nothing wrong or right to do, but let me get back to that. If you don't do these things, you naturally get more still, more calm, and less thoughts, because sometimes these drugs and certain things gives you more thoughts too. And so naturally you'll rise and rise and rise. You won't come down because you aren't doing these things, these hard energetic things that shake the body. I'm just saying. and to lesser, stronger degrees. You'll just be continue rising when you aren't doing these things in your life. Also, another benefit that I'll tell you just from my experience, when you don't drink and smoke, like, yes, someone can do that and be very well enlightened. And it's all right to do some of that stuff. But you'll see once you are enlightened that those things will not make you more enlightened. They'll make it harder to stay in enlightenment. So once you're in enlightenment, the more you're in it, because it's not just a one-time thing, boom, it's there forever. Most people got to keep building up because their energy's not there. But you can, if you practice it, you get better at it, basically. And there's stuff you can do, ironically, that can build that energy up and get there faster, more, and be more still, more alert, more focused, basically. So just like somebody who would go, let's just say somebody's running all the time. He might have a hard time, like, I mean nonstop, to the point of exhaustion. He might have a hard time going and being still because he's using up all his energy. And again, this is why I say doing nothing is enlightenment. But it's, don't get it, when I say it, I know it rings a bell. Just don't get it misconstrued as in like, oh, I'm doing nothing. But some people can't do nothing because they think. The whole point of doing nothing is actually not thinking, and then you can do whatever you want because you're not thinking about it, you're just doing it. So that's pretty much it. And again, we have that baseline energy. Drinking, sex, and drugs may take you to a feeling of more of that, which is getting out of your head, basically. But sometimes, again, these things make you do the opposite. Sometimes they get people paranoid. Sometimes they get people seeing things which they don't want to see. Sometimes hearing things. Also, like, again, intrusive thoughts. So, to lesser degrees. And to maintain this, basically, you don't want to do any of that until you get there. And then you can distinguish. You might have a glass of wine. You might go smoking. And what I was saying, you might have sex. And when I was talking about the benefit of not doing none of the stuff, you also put yourself in a predicament to where you're going to master something and achieve something great. Also, you know, all the stuff that I said, sex, drugs, alcohol, they may give you a feeling of increased qualityness or qualitativeness, but in the end, they're going to take a little bit of life away from you, which could be very minimal. But that being said, you just have to take what you want from that. And that's why, like, that's why it's not good, or it's not used for people, because, well, back to what I was saying, like, when you don't do that stuff, your energy is going up, so you have more of a chance to get enlightenment. And the thing about enlightenment is, because there probably is some people who, the thing is like, enlightenment's always there. You don't need the drug to get there. And that's why people usually stop doing drugs after they get enlightened, because they realize that. And so, like, this, yeah. I was going to say something else, but it's like on the tip of my tongue, basically. You don't necessarily you don't got to do anything to get there. That's it. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. My back was itchy, but not really. It was a weird itch.